From the studios of Books in Motion in Spokane, Washington, this is Cameron Beierle, reading Book 1 of the Beierle, Pawn of Prophecy, by David Eddings. We begin with the prologue. Being a history of the war of the gods and the acts of Beierle the sorcerer, adapted from the Book of Attn. When the world was new, the 7 gods dwelt in harmony, and the races of man were as one people. Beierle, youngest of the gods, was beloved by the Attns. He abode with them and cherished them, and they prospered in his care. The other gods also gathered peoples about them, and each god cherished his own people. But Beierle's eldest brother, Attn, was god over no people. He dwelt apart from men and gods, until the day that a vagrant child sought him out. Attn accepted the child as his disciple, and called him Beierle. Beierle learned the secret of the will and the word, and became a sorcerer. In the years that followed, others also sought out the solitary god. They joined in brotherhood to learn at the feet of Attn, and time did not touch them. Now it happened that Attn took up a stone in the shape of a globe, no larger than the heart of a child, and he turned the stone in his hand until it became a living soul. The power of the living jewel, which men called the orb of Attn, was very great, and Attn worked wonders with it. Of all of the gods, Torak was the most beautiful, and his people were the Angaraks. They burned sacrifices before him, calling him Lord of Lords, and Torak found the smell of sacrifice and the words of adoration sweet. The day came, however, when he heard of the orb of Attn, and from that moment he knew no peace. Finally, in a dissembling guise, he went to Attn. "My brother," he said, "it is not fitting that thou shouldst absent thyself from our company and counsel. Put aside this jewel, which hath seduced thy mind, from our fellowship." Attn looked into his brother's soul and rebuked him. "Why dost thou seek lordship and dominion, Torak? Is not Angarak enough for thee? Do not in thy pride seek to possess the orb, lest it slay thee." Great was Torak's shame at the words of Attn, and he raised his hand and smote his brother. Taking the jewel, he fled. The other gods besought Torak to return the orb, but he would not. Then the races of man rose up and came against the hosts of Angarak, and made war on them. The wars of the gods and of men raged across the land, until, near the high places of Korim, Torak raised the orb, and forced its will to join with his to split the earth asunder. The mountains were cast down, and the sea came in. But Beierle and Attn joined their wills and set limits upon the sea. The races of man, however, were separated one from the others, and the gods also. Now when Torak raised the living orb against the earth, it awoke and began to glow with